My family was Catholic, Italian Catholics, and we were members of the St. Mary's Parish in our hometown in Connecticut. And even though I was Catholic, I went to public schools. But when you're a Catholic and go to public schools, you have to go to catechism, religious instruction. And we had catechism every Tuesday after school. So we go to a regular school, and then we go to St. Mary's School for catechism, where we were taught by nuns. And when I was in the third grade, that was a very big year, a banner year for religious education. It was a two-sacrament year. You had confession and Holy Communion. Now, and those two sacraments are coupled together because confession allows you to cleanse yourself of sin and get in a state of grace, and then you are able to receive the body and blood of Christ through Holy Communion. And in a Catholic family, First Holy Communion is a big deal. In an Italian Catholic family, First Holy Communion is a huge deal. I mean, all the relatives are invited. The girls, now we're talking about third graders. The girls are dressed in white dresses. Many of them are carrying flowers. Some of them have veils. They look like 8 or 9-year-old brides. And the boys, okay, picture me as a skinny, freckle face, probably missing a tooth, crew cut, a kid who is prone to climbing and falling out of trees and has the remarkable ability to find the nearest mud puddle when he ever has a new pair of shoes. Now picture me, trapped in a light-colored, off-white suit jacket and dress pants, light tan dress pants, and a white shirt, and oh my God, a white tie. Pictures had to be taken before the event because there was no way that this outfit was going to survive with me in it for more than an hour. And the other thing about large Italian family gatherings for First Communions is everybody's invited. Your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, and you get gifts. The community gets gifts, and they're kind of odd gifts. I mean, you get a lot of religious cards with money in it. That's nice. You'll get prayer books, and you'll get no Bibles. We're Catholics. We'll tell you what's in the book. But you also get something every 8-year-old boy wants, and that is iconic statuary. Painted statues of your name saint, your patron saint. And mine was St. Anthony, and he is the patron saint of lost things, which for those people that know me is ironic as well as iconic, because I tend to lose things. And what you're supposed to do is you say, dear St. Anthony, please look around. Something is lost that needs to be found. And he helps you find your baseball cards or that library book or your homework, whatever it is that you lost. So we're going to, we go through confession, we clear that hurdle, and then the only thing we have to do after that is prepare for the big day. And the big day is prime time. It is 9 o'clock Sunday Mass, Sunday morning before Mother's Day. And so that April, every Tuesday that April, our catechism class was just rehearsing the ritual, the ceremony for getting First Communion. And there is a gaggle of kids. I mean, there's nearly 150, maybe more of kids, because they're from the 4 public schools and the 2 parochial schools and private schools. Every kid that was going to make First Communion went to these sessions to rehearse. And we had to, learn how to process and get to our assigned seats, and then go up to the communion rail and how to receive communion, and when to kneel, and when to stand, and when to sit. And there was a lot involved. And again, we're little kids, but the whole show was being run by these 2 nuns. They were in charge of crowd control and choreography, and they were just terrific at it. I mean, there was Sister Margaret and Sister Mary, and Sister Mary was in charge, and they both had clickers, these metal clickers, click, 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 click. And they used the metal clickers as cues for when we should sit, and when we should stand, and when we should kneel. And it was amazing. I mean, almost immediately, they had all of us sitting, standing, kneeling in unison. 8 and 9-year-old kids, maybe 150 or so, all of them doing something in unison. One click was to stand, and the 2 clicks, click, click, we would kneel, and 3 clicks, click, 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 we would sit. And I was just enamored of this because with 150 or so kids, there was about, maybe we filled maybe 25% of the church, and it was a cavernous church. So the clicks that the nuns were clicking kind of resonated. There was a lot of granite and marble and hard surfaces, so it resonated. And then when you had that many kids doing the same thing at the same time, our clothes and our shoes made this sort of hollowed out, muffled woof. So it'd be click, woof, we'd be standing. Click, click, woof, woof, we'd be kneeling. Click, 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 woof, we'd be sitting. And I was just enamored of this. I thought this was really pretty cool and amazing. And I was also thrilled to think that I had a toy metal clicker at home. Now, mine was a trifle. It was a 10-cent toy from Woolworths that was painted to look like a cricket. But it had never been filled with so many possibilities before. I was just amazed. And so I had that clicker with me at our next rehearsal. And we get to St. Mary's Church, and we're all sitting there. We process up to the front row, and Sister Mary is telling us how to process and what we need to do. And she goes through the clicks for sitting, standing, and everything. We say, yeah, we got it. And then she's talking, and I clicked, and we all stood up. I had the clicker in my jacket pocket. And Sister Mary kind of looked taken aback, and she shot a nasty look at Sister Margaret. And she said, no, that was a mistake. Please sit down. So we all sat down. And I went click, click. We all were kneeling. So now Sister Mary, she's stomping over to talk to Sister Margaret. And Sister Margaret and she are having a conversation, and it's animated and whispered. So the conversation, basically, Sister Margaret eventually convinces Sister Mary that neither of them did the clicking. And at that moment, they both realized what had been going on, and they kind of turned and looked at their angelic horde there, and I think with a bit of respect. And Sister Mary said, class, it is clear to us that somebody here other than Sister Margaret and myself have clickers, and they need to stop using it right now, because if they don't, we don't want to take the time to search everybody's pockets and find out who it is. But if I hear one more click, that is just what we're going to do. We will find out who you are, and you will not be making First Communion this year. Well, the whole class went, and I panicked. I said, oh my God, not to be allowed to do First Communion. I got all those relatives coming, no cards, no money, no prayer books, no statuary. And worse than that, the entire family would know that I was not fit to make First Communion, and that I was surely, and a number of my family members would remind me of this, I was surely on the path to hell. I didn't know what to do. And I reached my pocket, and I realized there was a hole in my jacket pocket. So I edged the clicker over to the hole and dropped it in the hole, and it fell down into the lining of my jacket. And I was safe. And it was never found. I'm just lucky that the good sisters didn't invoke St. Anthony to find that clicker.